You are welcome to LFN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly, real name Robert Sylvester Kelly, also known as the R&B King. During R. Kelly's indefinite detention, his attorneys then made several attempts to apply for his release from custody on bail, presenting several justifiable reasons each time, but this was never granted. On their sixth attempt, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals decision said prosecutors had provided clear and convincing evidence that R. Kelly presented a danger to the community, and is a flight risk. Meanwhile, R. Kelly had not interfaced with his attorneys for a while when prisons went into lockdown, and had not had enough time to prepare for the upcoming trial. When the panel of 3 judges succeeded in denying R. Kelly bail, he was denied his only opportunity to have a shot at winning his case with the necessary preparation. However, we were not convinced that their categorization of R. Kelly as a flight risk was in any way justifiable. By flight risk, the 3 judges meant to say that in case R. Kelly was granted bail, there was a great likelihood that he would flee the country on the next bus or plane, and would not show up for his court sessions when called upon. However, what we know is that court has standard processes and guidelines that are followed to determine whether a suspect is either a flight risk or danger to the community as suggested. A thorough study of the defendant's legal history in this case comes to account. He must have exhibited defiant behavior towards court summons before, or made attempts to resist arrest and more related events. The judges do not simply imagine offhand that the defendant could be a flight risk basing on the profile of the case. But even if they did, R. Kelly's case was not as high profile enough to require intermittent incarceration. It's not like he killed somebody. The 3 judges, however, by taking this decision on the basis of evidence they claim had been brought to them by the prosecution, in a way displayed prejudice on the R&B King. There was no way evidence that had been submitted but not taken through trial could be determined sufficient to make any decision that affected the case. In a way, this meant that the judges had already predetermined that the evidence brought to them was proven accurate, without first subjecting it to a trial. If at this early stage they already believed that this evidence was accurate and verifiable, why did R. Kelly have to go to trial? If the evidence was enough to deny him bail, it may have as well been enough to convict R. Kelly before trial. Going to trial on a case whose verdict had already been predetermined by the judges was wasting our precious time. Meanwhile, the facts about R. Kelly's legal track record speak for themselves. This is a man who has no record of skipping scheduled court hearings, one who has always turned up and presented himself before court when called upon. He has never in any way attempted to resist arrest in his past records, and on the contrary, is reported to have turned himself into the police when he was arrested. How on earth can you regard such a person a flight risk? Unless you were planning the escape with him behind our backs. This was simply a violation of R. Kelly's right to bail. A right that defendants who have committed more serious life-threatening crimes enjoy. If the prison officer by the name DeMaria Thomas, who was caught on camera opening an inmate's cell, and deploying 2 males to beat up the inmate to near death, was granted bail and permission to take 2 international vacations during her bail, why on earth was R. Kelly denied the same right? For the fact, R. Kelly being the global celebrity he is would probably have to undergo a face change surgery to disappear into thin air. The sacrifice alone would be way too big for him to make such a wrong decision of running. His livelihood depends largely on his brand as an artist, and therefore his facial identity is his most precious asset he's got. It would cost R. Kelly a lot more to run than to face justice. Even a 5-year-old can see this clearly, but interestingly, not a panel of 3 qualified judges on the Second Circuit Court of Appeals. With all this said, how sure can we be that the intention behind denying R. Kelly bail was not simply to check him, and make sure he did not prepare well for his trial that was forthcoming? While we may not be able to prove this at this time, what we know for sure is that R. Kelly was never the flight risk he was described to be. Then about being a danger to the community. This was equally a misuse of the English language. How dangerous could R. Kelly be, when his only case was messing with women? To mess with a woman takes plenty of time. First you have to establish a relationship over months, And it's not something he would have had time for given he had an entire case of this magnitude to deal with. If R. Kelly had been as dangerous a man, we wouldn't have seen healthy well-fed witnesses take the stand against him, none appeared malnourished. You cannot be dangerous to people and feed them so well, take them shopping, have them drive your cars and more. His only record of violence in prison was him getting attacked without retaliating in any way. The guy has been the most peaceful prisoner of all time. You wonder exactly who could have been threatened by the release of the R&B king? Perhaps the bogus case against him that would get thoroughly beaten had been prepared. A proper analysis of these events will reveal utmost prejudice involved in the R. Kelly case, and this is enough to earn him a retrial if the courts of the land are indeed dedicated to serving justice to all Americans and not only to some, while depriving others of the same. So many events of limitation and checks R. Kelly has been subjected to have been violations of his basic rights he qualifies for just by being a citizen of this our country. If the government prefers to overlook these events, then I am not sure who they serve. According to Judith Blakes, some of these events indeed reveal that R. Kelly was a victim of prejudicial rulings, and his case deserves to be looked into again. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson of the Supreme Court will see straight through these judges' unprecedented actions. If Robert Kelly's case goes to the Supreme Court, it will not look good for Judge Ann Donnelly and group. I cannot wait to listen to the High Court arguments when this case goes to appeal. It hurts to see how much power authorities have in determining whether a citizen qualifies to live or die. Whether a citizen may return home to his family or not. The power is so much and unchecked. If misused, one could end up losing their entire life for no good reason. We have heard of cases time and again where executions have been cancelled at the last minute due to a wrongful conviction. How sure are we some innocent people are not rotting in our prisons with no justifiable reason? According to Jamarcus, there was completely no way R. Kelly could have been a flight risk as suggested by the judges. A celebrity like him cannot hide anywhere on this planet undetected. Unless they suggest he would move to a country with no extradition treaty with the United States and seek asylum. But even then, he wouldn't trade his career for an escape. This shows you that street propaganda actually starts with the authorities. Shame. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. Thank you for watching today's video, a production of LFN Media, giving you another perspective of issues at hand. We make it our business to keep you updated with the truth amidst the cloud of lies the media wants you to believe. It is therefore important to subscribe to this channel, hit the bell icon and allow all notifications so that you don't miss out whenever we publish a new video.